All right, so I scheduled myself an afternoon inspection so that I could get some stuff done in the morning before they showed up. I got all my anchor bolts nailed in place and all the right anchors for my hold downs, HDU4s and HDU2s. And when they got here, they checked and made sure that the spacing was correct. They made sure the spacing on the rebar was correct. They made sure that there was the right levels of rebar, and there was 2 to 3 inches of space between the rebar and the dirt so that you don't get rusting of the rebar. And that was about it for the inspection. Some stuff that I did was I made sure that this column base was perfectly lined up with the post on the other side. And so you can actually use your eye to look down the edge of this and see that it's perfectly lined up with the left side of my post over there. And there's a lot you can do just using your eye like that. Same thing with checking the level. I made sure that the top of this was level with my foundation. And you can kind of just eyeball it like that, and it works pretty well, almost as good as a laser sometimes. So something else I need to do is run a laser level across the top of this and give myself 2 inches between the top of my slab and the laser inside of here, and see if there's any spots that are in that top 2 inches of slab, because if there are, I want to just knock the rebar down just a little bit, tap it down, and make sure I've got 2 inches clear from the rebar to the top of the slab. Also today, as soon as I passed inspection, I called and scheduled my concrete delivery for Monday. And we're getting about 35 yards, which is 3 full trucks and a cleanup truck. And then it's 50-50 mix, 4-inch slump, 3,000 PSI. And when that was confirmed, I confirmed with the pumper and the finishers, who were tentatively scheduled for Monday, that for sure we're on for Monday at 11 o'clock. So we're going to have 5 finishers here. We'll have concrete trucks coming about every 20 to 30 minutes. And the concrete costs about $206 a yard. It was right around there, or $220 a yard at other places. And I was watching YouTube videos and found that the price has recently gone up quite a bit. So inflation is kind of hitting our build budget. I've heard that most of the inflation is happening in wages for workers. It's hard to find construction labor right now, but lumber has come down, but there's other things that are still increasing in price just as inflation kind of makes its way. So let's see, what else do we have coming up? These anchor bolt holders are called Anchor Mates. I definitely recommend using those. They were a huge time saver. There's a few spots where I didn't use them because the anchor bolt was gonna hit the rebar and it was just kind of weird in the way. So I just kind of made some out of wood, and that took way more time. So I'd recommend just buying them. They're like $2 each if you get them at Lowe's in a pack of 10. They're a little bit more at some other places. I was surprised at Ashby Lumber. Well, they were selling them only by the piece, so maybe you can get them cheaper in bulk. But they were almost 50 cents cheaper at Lowe's. And for 50 anchor bolt holders, that's quite a bit. Let's see. So before all the guys show up to work out here, I want to make sure that it's nice and flat, easy to work around here, because I've got trash and tools everywhere. So I want to give them a nice space to work so nobody's tripping and falling. And then I want to clean up all my tools out of here so that none of them accidentally gets taken home, because that kind of stuff happens all the time. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then I still got to get my conduit ran up through here for my electrical. And I've got my UFR ground right there, right next to it. So I kind of marked out, I know where my studs are going to be already based on a shear wall over there. And then my 4-foot layout leaves me a stud right there and a stud right there. So I've got a UFER, and then I've got my electrical conduit coming up right there. All right. Hopefully soon we have concrete, and I'll show you what I'm using to finish it. I got some Proseco Consolidec LSCS. It's a hardener densifier for the concrete, so inside it won't get flaky or dusty, and it'll just get harder over time. And then it's really low maintenance. I've checked on other things like Armor Seal or something like that, and there's all kinds of stuff like that, and those often require regular waxing, like every year or something like that, and this doesn't really need much. You can get away with not waxing it, but if you want, you can wax it as well. I'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know how it turns out.